guys, Tracy here, and I'm going to scrapbook these pictures of a bike shop slash coffee shop that we go to that's close to where we live. And I have the Never Tear Us Apart kit from Scraptastic. There's lots of beautiful fall colors in this kit, although the pictures that I'm scrapbooking are actually from the summer, and I'm going to keep almost all of these papers out except for the most brightly colored ones. I just grabbed a piece of background paper from my stash. It's from Fancy Pants from a previous kit, and it's just like a plain mottled white background, but you could pick any kind of white or cream background that you wanted for the back of this layout. I've got a whole assortment of pattern papers, and I'm just going to get rid of these two, save them for another layout, and then I have these ones. I'm not going to put all of these on there, but yeah, I've got lots to choose from. So I'm going to start off by trimming up my photo. Still using my Fiskars trimmer. I'm waiting for my Caterpillar to arrive. I can't wait, and it hasn't arrived yet, but my Fiskars one is doing me fine. I want to use this Amy Tangerine cut and paste paper. It's from the cut and paste collection, and I want to use that as my background layer. And I just took out my vellum drawer and thought about using some printed vellum, but then I decided to use just this plain vellum. And I'm cutting it so that it's just a little bit bigger or smaller than the piece of Amy Tan paper. Trimmed up the paper a little bit there just so it was more the proportion that I wanted it to be. I'm thinking about using a whole bunch of these, like a whole row of these cameras, but then I decided to just cut one. Sorry that I'm off screen here. My camera was off to the side a little bit for most of this layout, so some of what I'm doing is going to be out of screen, so I apologize for that. I forgot to tighten up my tripod, and it swings around if you don't tighten it, and it had gotten swung out of place. So now I'm just cutting up some of these cut aparts from the Crate Paper Close Knit collection. One of them had a bicycle on it, so I wanted to use that. And then this one says, together is my favorite place to be. And I thought that would look nice layered with the vellum so you could still see it. Then I'm going to tuck that little heart with wood grain paper in behind and tuck the bike in so that you can see that it's a bike. I'm also going to use one of those Jilly Bean frames, the wood veneer frames, the one that says hello, and that bicycle clip is left over from last month's kit. I didn't get a chance to scrapbook these pictures. They were in my pile of things to scrap last month, and so I just held on to the bicycle clip so I could use it. And here's Maya saying hello. She's gonna oversee this layout. She's gonna supervise a little bit. So now that I got the layers the way I wanted them, I'm going to cut off the strip, the manufacturer's strip on the back of that Fancy Pants paper. And now I want to do some, not misting, I'm going to do kind of some stenciling with this template. This is a Crafter's Workshop template. And I got, the kit came with these, with this, what am I trying to say here? Liquid pearls in a copper color. And this is the goodie that you get if you get two kits in a row with the Scraptastic Kit Club. If you get two kits in a row, you get an extra little goodie included in your kit. So I'm just putting these little dots in 3 different places of my paper. You can't see that because the bottom one was off screen, but you'll see it in a few minutes, I think. I'm cleaning up my stencil, and now I just thought I might want to kind of add a bit of interest. So the month before, our freebie was a bottle of white liquid pearls. So I'm just putting a tiny bit of white liquid pearl dots all over, and I'm just using a piece of paper towel to apply them. It's probably, I mean, if I had a sponge or something like that, I could easily apply it. You could apply it with almost anything, a little cloth or a sponge or anything, but I just couldn't put my hands on anything but a piece of paper towel, so that's what I used. The paper towel probably sucked up a bit more of the liquid than it needed to, and so I probably wouldn't have had to have used as much if I had used another applicator. But it worked. I noticed that it just wasn't extending over far enough. I'm terrible at estimating how far over I need to bring things, so just had to add a little bit more there. And I'm going to just showing you what it looks like. Having a look at some of the flair that I might want to put on the page. Sorry, it's all oh, there we go. I noticed that it was that it was crooked, so I fixed it. So the rest of it you should be able to see. So now you can see that down in the corner I put a couple more of the little dots. I'm just trying to put these back the way they were because I really liked them the way they were. I am referring to the photo on my phone that I took of these layers so that I can kind of remember how they all fit together. And I'm not lining them up perfectly. I got too much glue on there, and the thing about the ATG is you can just peel it off just by rubbing your finger on it. And I'm layering these so that they're not perfectly straight or perpendicular to one another, but I don't want them to be too terribly askew either, so I'm just trying to balance the layout so that things aren't too crooked, but also so they don't look like they're trying to be straight. I really want that frame, the Hello wood grain frame, to look very casual, like it was almost placed at the last minute over top of the pile of papers. And so that's why I made it so that the picture underneath of it sort of floats a little bit. So it just looks like it was tossed on top of a pile of papers and pictures there. I'm going to put a piece of vellum over there. That's just one of my strips that I tore off. I'm just going to put it over there for a bit of interest. And I love to use my tiny attacher for staples. Got to add a bit of glue because I didn't glue it down all that well. I'm cutting off the extra piece of vellum, and now I'm going to use my glossy accents to glue down this bicycle. I'm just putting it on the bottommost parts of the bicycle that will be touching paper. And I just ran my finger over the piece of paper clip right where the glossy accents was, just to brush off a bit of extra glue so that it didn't blob too much when I pressed the bike into the paper. Wanted to use some of these wood veneers, so I grabbed the mason jar, and it tucks under the wheel really nicely. That bike has a lot of dimension to it, so the mason jar actually fits quite nicely under the wheel there. I'm going to use the brown arrow paper clip that came in this month's kit. So far everything except for the vellum and the paper clip were from this month's kit, and the paper clip was from last month's kit. So I've got a combination of things here. I've got some ormolu tags that I'm looking through right now, and I'm trying to put some embellishments over by the mason jar. And so far I've only picked out one thing, but I'm going to layer a couple of vertical elements above that little banner. And I wanted to make sure that I got a chance to use this copper washi tape because I think it's just so pretty. It just needs to be used. Wanted to use it down there, but it was throwing off the balance of the layout, so I just decided to leave the camera down there. So now I'm gluing down all of these elements that I placed a few minutes ago. So no real changes to the layout at this point. I'm going to use my roller date stamp. I put the glue on first. I forgot I wanted to put a stamp on there. And I'm just stamping June 2013 or July 2013. Yeah, July. And then I'm going to glue down my mason jar so that it doesn't cover up the date. And I definitely want to layer some things on top of that banner and behind the mason jar, but I haven't decided what exactly it'll be. I wanted to use one of these stamps, so I have the one that says My Always and Forever, or My Forever and Always. And I'm just stamping it on a piece of paper cardstock that came in the kit. That's a piece of coral basil cardstock. And then I'm using my tiny scissors to cut around it to make it look like it's a die cut shape. So I'm going to put that there. And I like the look of that so much that I decided to stamp another sentiment. So I've got the love, and I'm going to stamp that on the same paper. I love how these stamps stamp. They're so crisp and clean, and the heart is completely filled in with black, so I love that. I just used my corner rounder to round off that one so it didn't have such harsh edges. I didn't want to cut all the way around those letters because it would be too weird looking, I think. I thought about stamping X and O in the bottom, and then I decided not to at the last minute, so I just stapled the camera in place. I'm gluing those little stamped sentiments in place, and I definitely want a banner sticking out underneath of the stamped sentiment that I have there in a different color. So I've got this stamp from the crepe paper stickers that came in the kit, and I just tore off a little piece of it so it looks like it's layered underneath. And then I have another one of those Ormaloof banners. And now there's too much white behind there, so I'm going to stick another Ormaloo banner in the other direction, and now you get to see what that looks like. And now I'm also going to show you just what this little camera looks like down here in the corner. I'm going to add to it in a few minutes. So now I'm thinking about my title, and I want to put my title, and at first I was thinking about using tiny letters on this little label, and that's one of the cut aparts from the crepe paper close knit collection. When I cut apart some of the other pieces, these labels were also cut. And so I'm thinking about using it as a base upon which I can build my title, and I really wanted to put it there, but then it looked just like it was going to clutter those layers too much, and I want those layers to really kind of breathe. I want to give them some space, and so I'm going to put my title down here, and I just tucked it under the camera, so it ended up being nice that I had stapled that camera down instead of gluing it down. And then these are letter stickers that are in the This Life Noted kit, and so it was handy that they happen to be a good color. I'm just going to glue that piece in place now that I like where it's at, and I'm thinking that I'm done, but I'm not. I thought about going back and adding some stitching on this layout, some cross stitching in particular, but I decided against it, and I'm not sure why. I think I just really like it the way it is, so I decided to just leave it. Now, I did go away and I came back and added these enamel dots in blue, and I'm just going to show you where I added them because I did it off screen. So I added some there and over there. This this layout took about an hour to complete, and it was really fun, and I really love how all the layers look together. I've really missed playing with layers. I don't think I've layered things like this for a while, so it's been really fun to get back in my scrap room and play with this gorgeous kit with all these beautiful fall colors. I think it's really interesting that I was able to scrap these summer pictures with a fall scrapbook kit because I really wanted to get these pictures scrapped. It's about one of our favorite places to go when we go for a bike ride. We stop at this little bike shop that has a coffee shop, and it's a really fun place to go. So you guys take care and have a great scrappy week.